Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a multigrain bhakri. Bhakri is a very staple food of the Gujaratis and the Marathis, and both of them have a different way of making it. And the way I'm making it is how I learned it from my in-laws' home, which is the Gujarati way. Typically, you can make it with wheat flour, or you can add multiple millets from ragi, jowar, bajra, all the flours, and then make a multigrain bhakri. So today I'm going to be making bhakri from wheat flour and jowar, which is sorghum, right? So I'm going to quickly start making it and show you how it is. It is a flat bread which is slightly crisp, like a thicker paratha, which is spiced with some black pepper, Ajwain or Kalonji, and your flavors are completely your choice. And then kneaded into a nice stiff dough, and then cooked very differently, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so to begin, so into my mixing bowl, I'm going to add in the sorghum flour, which is the jowar flour. It looks very similar to wheat flour, so the quantity I've used is a little less than the wheat. You can also use equal quantities. And the wheat, this is the wheat flour, and to this I'm going to be adding black pepper, kalonji, and ginger powder and salt and turmeric powder. First, I'm going to coarsely crush my black peppercorns. Okay, so you want the crunch of the black peppercorns in your bhakri because that adds a great taste. So hence the reason I like to coarsely pound it like that. It's done. So it's coarsely pounded, and this pestle and mortar is a great way to actually control how much you want to actually pound it, and it's much faster than your mixer grinder. Okay, so I'm just going to add the black peppercorns over here, and this is a dry ginger powder. This is optional, but I like adding it. I like the flavor of ginger. I'm adding kalonji. You can also add ajwain, okay, and or even fennel, somph, right, to it. So, and then salt, and then turmeric powder. Haldi adds to the taste as well as the color. So I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients together first, and add some oil, and then knead it along with some water to make a nice stiff dough. The dough has to be very stiff. It shouldn't be like the paratha or the fulka dough. It shouldn't be soft. It has to be stiff dough. So I'm going to add in some oil. So the oil will actually add to the crunch and the bite, biscuit-like bite that the bhakri gives you. So it, as I said, it's a slightly semi-crisp flatbread. So now that I've added the oil, I'm going to add little water at a time, and then knead to make a nice stiff dough. Okay. So ensure that you add just little water at a time. Knead, and then if it's not coming together again, then add a little more water, because excess water will it'll take a longer time for you to cook your bhakri. Now that the dough is coming together, and I'm just going to like press and knead. Notice that it is like really hard, right? It's not very soft, but and it's not sticky as well. So at this stage, I'm going to add a little more oil on the top, so it feels like a little more smoother. And oil will also make it give that biscuit-like consistency that we want. You can also add ghee, but I'm going to be cooking it in ghee, so we'll get the ghee flavor at that time. So just press with the heel of your palm, and then knead. So once this is kneaded, I'm going to actually divide the dough into a few portions. Bhakri dough is usually in large portions, so it has to actually, see, it's pretty much occupies my entire palm. So when you hold it, it covers your entire arm. So that's how big it has to be, because it's going to be a thick flat bread, and ensure that it's a little bigger. We'll just divide it into portions. So now this is ready. I'm going to proceed to preheat my tawa, and then I'll show you how to make it. So now I've greased my palms with a little bit of oil. I'm not going to be dusting in flour like we do like for a regular paratha, and so that it doesn't stick. So you have to roll the bhakri a little thick, and it's not going to be thin, so it's going to be just press, and about 4 to 6 inches in diameter, about 4 inches diameter, that's it. This is how it has to be. Notice there is this thickness, and we want it thick, and because it's going to become like a biscuit, and it's when we are actually going to cook it in the pan. Okay, so I'm just going to roll the rest of the bhakri dough and keep it aside, and then we will, there's a different way of cooking, I told you, so we're going to do that. I'm going to show you that. So now that we've rolled out the bhakri dough, I'm going to place it on my preheated iron pan, and cook it on both sides until the tops are sort of cooked and it's not raw anymore. So I'm just going to flip and turn, and you'll notice that they start cooking slightly. And once it starts cooking slightly on both sides, we're actually going to smear some ghee and then use this wooden press that I have with me to press, turn, and then cook it so it cooks evenly from the inside as well. So what happens while pressing is the heat from the bottom actually seeps in and makes it cook like a nice, to get a biscuit-like consistency. So I'm just going to turn and smear some ghee and flip it again. Okay, and flip it again so the other side also gets the ghee. And once this is done, so when both the sides have some amount of ghee, what you'll do is on medium heat, keep turning, pressing, turning, and cook the bhakri until it's evenly done. This has to be done on medium heat, don't keep it high, because it's going to take a while to cook the bhakri from both the sides. And so the steam that is created will actually cook the bhakri, and the pressing part will make it a little crisp. So each bhakri will take about 2 minutes approximately to cook. So let's just wait until it's done. So now I've been flipping and turning and pressing and cooking for about a few minutes now, and I'm going to flip and show you that it is done. So it's cooked evenly on both sides and it's nice and crisp, and this is how you want your bhakri to be. So typically when you add millet flours like jowar or bajra or ragi or anything else into the bhakri, it usually cracks up a little bit, right? Because they don't have gluten in it. And so if you feel that it's cracking up a little bit too much, then you can add a little more wheat flour into the dough that you made and then make the bhakri. But I like it. It looks really rustic, and this is how we like it at home. So this is it. I hope you do get to try this recipe at home. When you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below, because I'd love to hear back from you. And what can you serve the bhakri with? You can serve your bhakri along with a nice gravy sabzi like aloo, tamatar sabzi, or ringnanu olo, or a bengan bharta, or just simply have it along with an achar and dahi for breakfast. So it's completely your choice, because it's a crisp flatbread and tastes very nice. So I really hope you enjoy making this recipe. Until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.